YouTube, what's good and welcome back to the channel. It has been about a month since our last chapter of Kaiju number 8, and 86 did not disappoint. Narumi basically unlocked the mangekyo sharingan, and that's why I got on these glasses right now, dog, because I got it too. And if I lift them up, I'm putting every viewer in a genjutsu. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it, but I could. Let's get into the video. So before we actually start talking about Narumi unlocking the mangekyo sharingan, there's two other things that I want to talk about first. I want to talk about Narumi's relationship with Isao, and then I also want to talk about Narumi's fight with number 11 thus far. Now, chapter 86 honestly opened off very dope because it gave us a look into multiple different things within this series. We see why Narumi talks and thinks the way that he does now, because this is exactly how Isao acted back in the day, as well as we see that Isao and Narumi have an awesome, almost like father-son relationship. The whole time that Narumi has been in the defense force, Isao has always challenged Narumi. From the first time that Narumi stepped inside and started training with Isao, Isao said, "Show me your skills. I don't need an incompetent officer who does nothing but talk." And this is the same exact way that we see Narumi talking nowadays, right? Whenever Narumi was talking to Kikoru, Narumi said, "Hey bro, I don't need none of that talking, and I don't need you to tell me about any of those accolades you got in school. All I care about is results." So you see that Isao has truly shaped Narumi from the time that he joined the defense force all the way through current times now. And from there, we still see that the whole time that Narumi was in the defense force, he wanted to do the same exact thing that Kikoru wanted to do, dog. Narumi wanted nothing more but to just wow General Isao. And it's funny, dog, Isao has such an importance in this series. So does Hikari. Kikoru's parents both just keep on getting brought back up over and over again, and we see it in this chapter. But the whole time, Narumi just wanted to impress Isao and could never get that done through all the trainings that they did, whether it was sword fighting, pause, whether it was some sort of hand-to-hand combat fighting. No matter what they ever did, first off, Isao always won, and second off, Narumi was never able to truly impress Isao. At least that's what Narumi thought. And if you take it a step further and we start delving into Narumi's psyche, to me it really starts showing that Narumi does want to be a leader like Isao. Narumi admires Isao to the utmost respect. The fact that Narumi knows he is now a leader within the defense force and is starting to try to portray himself in the same ways that he thought Isao did as a leader, it shows that even Narumi thought Isao was a great leader. But at the same time, there's still these other aspects that are pulling Narumi back, which is understandable. Narumi's still young, so Narumi still loves to play video games all the time, dog. Shit. Part of the reason that I haven't uploaded in a little bit is because I have been caught up in Tears of the Kingdom. And I'm sure that Narumi's been playing Tears of the Kingdom too. That's why we didn't get a chapter last week. Bro was just playing a new release. But overall, it just really starts to show you how much of a true man that Isao was for everybody within the defense force. He was truly that overarching father figure for everyone, whether that's Kikoru, Kafka, and now we even learn Narumi. So I love seeing this opening bit of this chapter because I love getting this character expansion. But we immediately go from there and get right into Narumi versus 11. And these action sequences this chapter, y'all, hey, they were drawn kind of, hey, my bad, I almost put y'all in genjutsu, but they were drawn crazy, bro. Seeing number 11 shoot all those water balls at different buildings while Narumi's running across them and trying to figure out how to get in close to attack. We start figuring out even more so that number 11 is fully prepared for anything that Narumi can throw at him. Number 11 goes on to tell Narumi that number one foresight that you have is actually false foresight. All you're doing is just reading the electrical signals within your target's body and then using that information to predict their movements. But you can't predict the movements of an inorganic threat that's homing on you, aka the water that number 11 is using to fight. Against anybody else, normally, Narumi is able to get in close, just like Hoshina, and up close is their bread and butter. His close quarters combat ability, they are the top 2 in the defense force in getting that done. But versus number 11, all of this water keeps on covering as a shield for 11, and it's very hard for Narumi to try to figure out what to do. Narumi starts using different attacks, Like, for example, he goes on to use his squadron style gun sword technique number 1. And right as soon as he uses that gun sword technique, number 11 says, I already know that attack, and blocks it. Narumi goes on to use his number 2 slash salva. Number 11 says, I already know that one too. He says, I know all of your attacks. After all, I was given Isao's memories from number 9. And this is where you truly see number 11 turn from just some daikaiju invading to a villain, dog. Number 11 goes on to say, man, I got all your master's memories inside of my head right now and all these words that he's spoken to you. So I'm about to just start acting like him real quick. He looks at Narumi while Narumi is down at his worst and says, I don't need an incompetent officer. Die here. One of the quotes that Narumi greatly remembers from whenever he first joined the army, and Isao told him those same things. And then Narumi snaps out of it. And like when I say snaps out of it, I mean Narumi's going crazy, bro. You see Narumi shoot a shot at number 11 and make contact with that shot and tells number 11, no need to give me that look, Mr. Isao. And you see Narumi get the crazy eyes and says, I'm finally ready to wow the hell out of you. Not only does Narumi have his crazy eyes, but you see that his daikaiju eyes rotate, which is why I said that he got the mangekyo sharingan. And right as soon as his eyes rotate, he goes forward, slashes at number 11, and cuts off his arm off rip, bro. And that's how the chapter ends. Now, this was crazy, bro. At the end of the day, number 11 knew everything that Narumi could throw at him. So Narumi has to adapt and overcome in order to beat number 11. What I think might have happened, obviously we're probably going to get some sort of explanation as to what happened to Narumi next chapter. But what I think actually happened here is, so before Narumi was using the electrical impulses from someone else's body and like reading those impulses to predict their movements. What if instead of looking at other people's impulses, number 1's abilities allow Narumi to use more impulses within his own body, right? If he has more electrical impulses / can control those better, maybe he can move faster, he can attack harder, right? He can basically just recruit more muscle fibers, more nerve. As nerdy as that sounds and as scientific as it sounds, this is a sci-fi manga, bro, so kind of makes sense. But no, that's what my guess is. I'm guessing that like now he's using his own impulses or giving himself more impulses to be able to move faster. So who knows what's gonna happen next chapter? I mean, we all know what's gonna happen next chapter. Narumi's beating number 11. One thing I would say is this chapter was hype, bro. This chapter was hype. But I'm very excited to see Kaiju number 9 make its next appearance. I think that hopefully it'll come after the Hoshina fight is what I imagine is going to happen. I think that Narumi's going to beat number 11 after he's been losing, just like Kikoru was losing, and then went on to beat number 15. And then after Narumi beats 11, we're probably going to go to Hoshina. Hoshina's going to be losing, but come back and beat number 12. And then what happens after that, right? That's when we're finally going to get to start seeing Kaiju number 9, start seeing Kafka, start seeing Reno, start seeing Mina. So I'm hyped for those moments to come, but I'm taking them as I get them, bro. This chapter was very, very dope. Seeing this level up of Narumi, as well as wondering what's going to happen next. On top of that, we already talked about Kikoru might not be able to fight much more after she gets done with her fight versus number 15, just because she's been fighting for an extended period of time and the suits overheat. We saw that whenever Hoshina was versing number 10. We saw this chapter that Narumi's suit is very close to overheating as well. So even after Narumi beats number 11, how much more is Narumi going to be able to do for the defense force afterwards? And I think that this is truly what number 9 is waiting for. Not only are these daikaiju going to take out some of the defense force forces, but they're also going to put him just one step ahead, because there's going to be a bunch of our top members that are not going to be able to keep fighting at full capacity for a long time, because their suits are already going to be pretty hot from fighting. So nah, this is all building up to be something that is going to put us in a major disadvantage. We're getting hype moments right now, but I was kind of hoping that our hype moments wouldn't come until like 9 is here. So very hyped to see the next chapter. As always, arigato mas if you clicked and watched this video. Love y'all, love making the videos for y'all. I'm gonna work my best to get a kaiju video out next week as well. I'm just gonna probably talk about my general thoughts on the war from the start up until now. So if there's anything that you want me to mention in that video, let me know. But other than that, dog, let me hit you with a note real quick before I dip. You know what I'm saying? I had to promise Darzus that I would hit a note. So peace. Come on now. Hey, don't make me drop that genjutsu.